ladies and gentlemen of the 118 scale, 3.75 inch, 4-inch modern action figure community. I'm back again with another video. And in this video, I guess you could say we're commemorating the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Now, what we have before us here is from Marauders. This is going to be a World War II American action figure. So the way they deliver or ship them out, they ship them out in all pieces, and you got to kind of use your imagination, put them together. It's not too hard, doesn't seem too difficult, but I decided to put it together right here on camera with you. Unfortunately, I don't have anything that can hold my camera up, so this is going to be interesting with me trying to put it together with one hand, so bear with me. So, unless you've been under a rock, you know that Marauders has released a line of World War II action figures. They've been around probably about, I'd say 2 years now, probably more. I'm sorry, I don't really know. But these are themed after World War II, which is something you don't really see, and I think this is really nicely done. So we already discussed D-Day. What was D-Day? D-Day was a point during World War II when America became involved, and this was the name given to, or the title given to, the coalition forces storming the beaches at Normandy. So if you don't know, there was not only Americans, there was an effort of numerous countries that went in to, stop Hitler and Mussolini. So what ended up happening was, so first and foremost, let's take it back to World War II. Let's talk about it. So after World War I, the European countries were all split up, and pretty much the winning forces pretty much got to split up most of Europe. And being that Germany was blamed for it all, they ended up getting hit with taxes, which pretty much rendered them broke. Ironically, the war taxes cost them so much that it was that they were not making any money at all. So what Russia did, since they had no money and they couldn't pay the debt, they ended up really hurting themselves, and they ended up printing off all this money. Well, when you print off extra money, you lessen the value of the money you already have. So now that they've printed off all this money, the value of their money pretty much went away, and it was almost more, well, it pretty much was more expensive to buy the paper to print the money on than the money was actually worth. So just imagine spending $3 a sheet of paper to print $1 bills on. You know what I mean? So pretty much I got the backpack coming together so far, trying to get that going. So now I'm getting the web gear together, trying to put these pouches on. It's a lot of work, but it's fun though. It's actually pretty cool. So let's see what we got going on here. All right, got that done. So moving right along, what ended up happening was now the Germans become angry that they have no money. They're pretty much impoverished, and now they're becoming antsy. I don't remember the name of the guy that was in power before Hitler, but eventually he was removed and Hitler took his place. Now Hitler's ideologies lined up right with what the people wanted, because they were angry that they didn't have any money. Also, in Italy, you had Mussolini, who was also becoming radicalized, and he got himself into a bunch of trouble. He started getting arrested and stuff like that. And then he eventually became the leader of Italy. And I kind of glossed over that, not trying to really hone in on all the events leading up to that. But yeah, so pretty much they eventually decided to go in together and start taking over some of these countries. And what I did skip was Mussolini became radicalized, and he became angry because Italy was angry at that they didn't get their fair share of the winnings. Remember how I told you that the winning countries was able to split up European countries, and Italy believed that they didn't get their fair share. So at first they began attacking, I believe it was France and Great Britain. They started to go to war between those two countries. Then at some point they started to attack Russia. He's got this knife, cool knife. I think I'm going to seat it in his backpack right here. So anyway, they came after Russia, and ironically, they were beaten. The Germans and Mussolini, they were beating everyone all up until the winter hit in Russia, and they couldn't fight a Cold War or cold weather battle, so they had to slow down. So with the weather slowing them down, so here he is, he's coming along so far. So with the weather slowing them down, they could have all but lost this war. And I mean, I'm glossing over a lot because they went into Africa, they went into other countries, they went south, and they were actually pretty successful. And I'm talking about the Germans. When they went into Russia, that's when they started like really finding the people that did look like them, the Russians, and they started to start grabbing the Jews and doing what they did to them. And they looked like they could have been successful had they not made a few key mistakes. One mistake being is they decided to ally and partner with Japan. And another key mistake they made was trying to fight Russia and didn't have any preparations for cold weather troops to continue the war. So Russia was able to hold them off with that. The biggest mistake they made was Japan was doing a lot of things. They pretty much destroyed China and committed some atrocities on the Chinese people. They wanted free run of, so pretty much what ended up happening was they wanted to have free run of the Pacific, and they ended up bombing Pearl Harbor. And the only reason they did this is because they wanted to get the American fleet out of their way so that they can have free run. So what ended up happening was the United States waged war on Japan. So now, with all the war going on, all the fighting going on everywhere, Germany made their third mistake. And their third mistake, which happened to probably be the end for them, was they decided to join Japan and wage war on America. Because up until this point, America wanted really nothing to do with the war. But when they waged war, that was it. And no real need in going over much more from there. Um, so now America and Japan is at war, and it's not pretty. Japan was not for the faint of heart. They were not suckers. They were not punks. They fought till the death. Their one main goal was to die in battle, and this gave rise to the Japanese kamikaze. Now, the kamikaze were young pilots that they sent on suicide missions. Go crash your plane into this tank, or go crash your plane into the deck of this aircraft carrier, and pretty much because they ran out of weapons. So since they didn't have any ammo or proper working weapons, they started to use suicide bombers. Then they eventually ran out of airplanes. And what did they do? They started strapping bombs to their chests and jumping on tanks and running into foxholes and doing all kind of stuff and just really racking up some numbers. So President Truman issued them a warning and said, yo, give up. And pretty much he wanted them to give up everything and to their king to surrender. And the king not wanting to surrender because he didn't know what was going to become of his people if he just surrendered. So they gave him ultimatum, give up, or else it ain't going to be pretty. So he didn't want to give up. So there you have him in all of his glory. And pretty much what ended up happening was they didn't want to give up. They didn't want to surrender. So we dropped a nuclear bomb on them. I think the first nuclear bomb went off in Hiroshima, and then we gave them another ultimatum, like, yo, we're not playing, give up or else. You already see what we can do. They still didn't want to give up. So then the second one went off, and I believe the second one was Nagasaki, but I could be wrong about which one was first, which one was second. But we nuked and killed hundreds of thousands of people. It was crazy. World War II in the end. So yeah, from the Britannica website, I see that it says 70 to 80 million lives were lost worldwide due to this war. That is 1/3 of the world's population died in this war. Now that is crazy. So there he is, ladies and gentlemen. That is your American trooper. And I believe he's Army. I don't think he's a Marine. I think he's Army. Let's see if it says it anywhere here. I'll look it up and see what it is, but I believe he's Army. But I'll definitely put it here. I could be wrong. Awesome. Well, thanks for checking out this video. Pick up a World War II figure, or 2 or 3. I have another one right here that I'm going to be putting together and discussing. And thank you. I appreciate you watching this video. If you have any other questions, feel free to put them down below. I'll get to them at my earliest convenience. Peace. Thank you.